Sophia stood backstage, calm and composed, clutching her phone. She already knew the truth Jason had tried to hide. The guests smiled, unaware that in just moments, the secret she held would shock everyone at the altar. The hall gleamed with white flowers, soft lights reflecting off crystal chandeliers, and a gentle melody floated through the air. Guests whispered in excitement, adjusting dresses, snapping photos, and stealing glances at the couple. Everything looked perfect, as if painted straight from a dream. Yet behind the smiles and laughter, a quiet tension hung in the air. Sophia stepped forward, adjusting her dress with a steady hand, masking the storm of thoughts inside her. She could feel the eyes of the guests, but her focus was elsewhere, on Jason. Across the aisle, he smiled at the crowd, shaking hands, appearing confident. But Sophia noticed the small things, a tremor in his fingers as he clutched his cufflinks, the way his eyes darted to his phone too often, the barely noticeable twitch of his jaw when he laughed. The subtle red flags were undeniable. She remembered the video she had discovered the night before. The betrayal burned into her memory. Her heart tightened, but she stayed composed, calculating the perfect moment to expose the truth. Even the guests seemed to sense something off. A mother whispered to her daughter. A friend exchanged a knowing glance with another, and small murmurs began circulating, questions hanging unspoken. Children peeked around parents, sensing excitement mixed with unease. Sophia's closest friends lingered near her, offering quiet nods of encouragement. Every smile she gave was controlled, every step deliberate. The ceremony was unfolding like a perfect picture, but underneath, the tension was building like the calm before a storm. Each glance, each minor gesture from Jason added weight to the moment. With each heartbeat, Sophia felt her resolve strengthen. The stage was set. Soon, the secret she held would break through the perfection, leaving no room for lies to hide. Jason stood at the altar, attempting a confident smile, but it faltered under the weight of hidden guilt. His hands fidgeted, twisting the edge of his cufflinks again and again, fingers tapping an uneven rhythm on the podium. Every glance at his phone made his jaw tighten, and when he laughed it sounded forced, slightly off, as if the sound didn't belong to him. Small incidents continued to unravel the facade. He dropped the ring box once, barely catching it before it hit the floor, his cheeks flushing red. A slip of his tie, a nervously scratched cheek, minor, almost unnoticeable gestures. But to Sophia, each one screamed truth. She observed quietly, heart steady but mind racing, cataloging every tiny slip, every subtle crack in the armor of pretense. Family members weren't blind to the tension either, slightly sensing unease. Guests, though mostly unaware of the full story, began noticing cracks too. Glances exchanged, murmured words, subtle expressions that something wasn't right. Children looked curiously, sensing the undercurrent of tension, their innocent eyes catching the almost imperceptible shifts in mood. Even Jason seemed aware that the calm mask he wore was slipping. His movements grew sharper, more precise, but somehow more unnatural. Each nervous adjustment, shifting weight, rubbing his neck, checking the ring only drew more attention. The whispers of doubt, the nervous energy radiating from him, fed Sophia's growing resolve. Every fidget, every micro-gesture, every faltering smile pushed the moment closer to revelation. She didn't need to rush. Patience was her ally. The storm was forming, and soon, every carefully hidden truth would be impossible to ignore. Sophia took a deep breath and paused mid-step, letting the soft music fill the hall for a moment longer. Every guest's gaze instinctively turned toward her, drawn by the subtle change in her posture. Calm, composed, she held her phone tightly in her hand, the device that carried the undeniable truth. The anticipation in the room thickened like the quiet before a storm. Jason noticed immediately. His confident smile wavered, replaced by a flicker of panic. He adjusted his tie, glanced at the floor, and then at the guests, as if searching for an escape route. His hands fidgeted, fingers tapping on the podium, betraying the nervous energy he tried so hard to hide. The red flags that had been subtle moments ago were now undeniable to anyone paying attention. Sophia's closest friends exchanged quiet nods of encouragement from the side. She could feel their support, like a shield against the chaos she was about to unleash. Every step she had taken toward the altar had been deliberate, every pause intentional. The room was unaware that the perfect ceremony they expected was about to shatter. The guests whispered softly among themselves, sensing tension but not understanding why. Some leaned forward, craning their necks, curiosity mingling with the collective excitement of the day. Children peeked, relatives whispered, and cameras raised. Everyone poised for the moment that would change the atmosphere completely. Sophia's inner thoughts remained steady and focused. This was not a moment for anger or tears. It was a calculated act of truth. She had planned every detail, the timing, the positioning, the undeniable proof. With one final glance at Jason, she felt a surge of calm determination. The moment had arrived. Soon, every hidden lie, every betrayal, would be revealed for the entire room to witness. The storm was ready, and she was fully in control. Sophia lifted her phone, her hand steady, and spoke clearly. "Before we continue, there's something everyone needs to see." The hall fell silent instantly. She pressed play, and the screen illuminated with the undeniable truth. Jason was laughing with another woman, their closeness impossible to ignore. The guests gasped audibly. Murmurs rippled through the hall like a growing wave. Shock? Disbelief, whispers of, "Is that really him?" And "I can't believe this." The children stared wide-eyed, sensing the tension even without understanding the betrayal. Jason froze completely, his attempts to smile or explain failing before the evidence. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. His hands shook slightly as he glanced around. Realizing the magnitude of the exposure, family members whispered among themselves, some covering their mouths in disbelief, others exchanging looks of anger and disappointment. His mother's gaze fell on him, filled with shock and hurt. Sophia's friends exchanged proud, supportive glances, their encouragement fueling her calm demeanor. The room was electric, every guest caught between empathy and judgment. Every whisper, every shocked expression added to the growing weight of the moment. Cameras and phones captured the unfolding drama, ready to preserve every reaction. The tension reached its peak. The perfect image of a wedding had shattered, replaced by raw reality. Sophia's calmness contrasted sharply with Jason's panic, magnifying the emotional impact. The secret she had carried, the betrayal she had discovered, now lay bare for everyone to see. The storm had arrived, undeniable, unmissable, and unforgettable. Sophia stood tall at the altar, the phone still in her hand, her calm demeanor radiating confidence. The room buzzed with whispers and shocked expressions, but she held her composure, letting the weight of truth settle over everyone. Jason's frozen expression and frantic gestures did nothing to shake her resolve. Taking a deep breath, she addressed the guests, her voice steady and clear. "This is why I cannot marry someone who hides the truth," she said firmly. Trust, once broken, cannot be repaired. Every word carried authority, every glance deliberate, showing that she was in control of the moment. There was no anger, only clarity and dignity. She paused, allowing the silence to emphasize the impact of her statement. Guests leaned in, captivated by the courage and calm she displayed. Some nodded in admiration, others whispered in disbelief. Friends smiled proudly, supporting her unspoken message, strength and self-respect above all else. Jason tried to speak, to explain, but the words faltered and dissolved in the tension-filled room. His attempts only highlighted the truth that everyone had just witnessed. Family members looked at him with disappointment, whispers of confusion and judgment spreading through the hall. With a final, unwavering glance at Jason, Sophia turned gracefully and began walking toward the exit. Each step was deliberate, carrying the quiet power of someone who refused to compromise their dignity. The sunlight spilling through the doors highlighted her calm, confident expression, signaling that she had reclaimed her life and her self-respect. Guests watched in awe as she moved with poise, leaving behind the chaos and betrayal. The storm of heartbreak had passed, replaced by empowerment, clarity, and courage. Sophia's final statement was not just words. It was a testament to the strength found in honesty, self-respect, and standing tall even when faced with deep betrayal. Sophia's story reminds us that courage and self-respect are priceless. Trust, once broken, cannot be ignored, and standing tall in the face of betrayal is powerful. Always listen to your instincts and value your dignity above anyone else's lies. Life will test your patience and strength, but honesty and clarity lead to freedom. If you've ever faced deception, remember, courage is choosing yourself. For more shocking wedding karma stories and lessons that make you think twice, subscribe and stay tuned because the world of secrets and revelations is far from over.